Hello guys, Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM episode number 1204. Today back to Mr. K celebrates Frederick Douglass, episode 15. We had this begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, hi, friend, and happy Black History Month.
Hold on. I work with A1 to do good and no one to do wrong, Frederick Douglass. Okay, makes more sense. Anyway, continue on.
I was just finishing up a quote from a very important man in our history. This says, I will work with anyone to do good and no one to do wrong. This was written by a remarkable man by the name of Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
Frederick Douglass was an author, a public speaker. He fought to end slavery and many other things.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the vision board and I'll tell you all about him.
Okay.
Frederick Douglass was originally born with the name Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey in February of 1817.
Okay.
When he was born a slave. He never really knew when his actual birthday was or how old he was, but he decided to celebrate his birthday on Valentine's Day because he remembered that his mother used to call him Little Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
Frederick was separated from his mom when he was a baby and was raised by his grandma Betsy Bailey until he was 6.
Mm-hmm.
Frederick was passed around from different slave owners while he was young. By the age of 12, his slave owner's wife began teaching him the letters of the alphabet and how to read. Eventually, he had to secretly teach himself to read and write because in those times, people didn't believe that black people should be able to do those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Frederick escaped to Maryland in September of 1838, and that is when he changed his name to Frederick Douglass. He had to travel many different ways to make it to his final destination, which was New York. He first traveled by steam ferry, then continued by train,
Wow.
then by steamboat, and then finally on foot. Frederick eventually married, and he and his wife moved to New Bedford, Massachusetts in 1838. This is actually the home they lived in, and you can visit this home today if you ever visit New Bedford.
Wow.
While here, Frederick joined a church and became a preacher. He gave his first speech when he was only 23, and it was all about fighting against slavery in order to end it. Frederick Douglass is best known for his first autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave, which was released in 1854.
Wow.
An autobiography is a book that's written by an author that is telling their life story.
Well, that makes sense, even though I know about autobiography means, so it just makes more perfect sense. Continue on.
Most people did not believe that a black person wrote that book because it was so well written. He would go on to write 3 more autobiographies in his lifetime, all of which were very successful.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from writing books on his life, Frederick Douglass did many other things. On August 16, 1854, Frederick traveled to Ireland to tour, and he did it right at the same time an event called the Great Famine began in Ireland.
Mm.
The Great Famine was a moment of time where food was hard to come by in that country. But still, Frederick loved being in a different country because he didn't have to experience being treated wrongly because of the color of his skin like he had to while he was living in the United States.
Wow.
Here's a little bit of what Frederick wrote after arriving in Ireland. 11 days and a half gone, and I have crossed 3,000 miles of the perilous deep. Instead of the bright blue sky of America, I am covered with the soft gray fog of Ireland. I look around in search of someone who will question my equal humanity, claim me as his slave, or offer me an insult. I get a cab. I am seated beside white people. I reach the hotel. I enter the same door. I am shown into the same parlor. I dine at the same table, and no one is offended. I find myself regarded and treated at every turn with kindness.
Wow.
Frederick loved Ireland so much, he lived there for 2 years giving speeches, and oftentimes the rooms were full of people. When he returned to the U.S. in 1847, he used 500 euros that was given to him, which in today's money would equal $48,000. And he started the very first of many of his own newspapers, the North Star.
Wow.
In 1848, he was the only black person to attend an event that called for all women to have all rights that they didn't have at the time, like the option to vote. Frederick was even the most photographed American during the 19th century, which was between the 18 and 1900s. At one point, he was also the first African American to be nominated to be Vice President of the United States, even though he never...
Wow. Wow, okay. It's kind of reminding me of the whole Barack Obama being president of the United States that was in the 2000s until the 2010s, you know? But this, oh my god, it looks different. Continue on.
To be. He met with Abraham Lincoln to talk about the mistreatment of black people and how to end slavery. And there's no doubt that Frederick Douglass was an amazing man, and this is just a little bit of the things he had done during his time. Frederick Douglass died on February 20th, 1895, and that same day, he attended a meeting with the National Council of Women where he gave a speech and received a standing ovation.
Wow.
It is true that he even spent his last days doing what he loved. The world we live in today, where we are surrounded by so many different people, where we have the rights to have our voices be heard and to be treated like humans, all started with Frederick Douglass and the work that he did. And hey, our world could still use a bit of fixing up, and who knows, maybe you can be the one to help make the change. I'll see you next time, and remember to do something kind. Bye.
So that was Mr. K Celebrates Frederick Douglass, episode 15. What do I think about this? It was awesome. Overall, I'm pretty much appreciate the help of the whole presidency type of thing. First African vice president, I'm like, wow. Very amazing excitement, you know? Next to Kamala Harris and our current vice president, you know, the African side of things, you know? So, there you go. African American, excuse me. That was LJPCBM episode number 1024. Hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned. Next one's going to be LJPCBM episode number 1205, which will be about Mr. K Celebrates Black History Month episode 16. This will be a final one of these Mr. K Celebrates Black History Months that ever see on YouTube. They have been already uploaded to YouTube already. Till next time, Sue Jefferson, Bobby Baby. We can watch you guys against Sue. Till it's out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time. Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question, and the giver holds the key.